My name's Carolyn Ward, and I'm the CEO of the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation, and I would like to welcome you all here in a celebration for such a fantastic project. And I'm going to introduce the chair of our board, Mr. Broadus Fitzpatrick.
Good morning.
And I think you all know Superintendent Mark Woods, and they have just a couple words to say, and then we're going to go about enjoying this fantastic day. So thank you all so much for coming. Superintendent Woods.
You know, it feels like late September, early October today, and last week we had kind of similar weather at one point out here on the Parkway, which was fantastic. But on behalf of the National Park Service, the Director of the National Park Service, all of our employees in the gray and green here today, we really want to welcome you to one of your national parks and to what I consider to be the most beautiful place in the world, kind of the epicenter of the universe, if you will. I think would be a term that could describe this. As I drove in today, I was thinking back to the early days of the Park Service when there was talk going on and planning going on, and I was thinking back to Senator Byrd and his efforts to get this parkway created. And his vision, something he said, is that he envisioned that this parkway would be the most scenic roadway in the world, and that it would ultimately attract millions of tourists. And I think we've certainly realized that. We have millions of tourists every year, visitors from all over the world who come here. And if you travel any section of the parkway, whether from the north all the way to the high mountains in the south, you know, it's spectacular. It's incredible. And we're very fortunate indeed to have it. We're also very fortunate to have organizations that support the parkway, the National Park Service. And I want to thank the foundation for the tremendous work that you all do. The foundation, as I think everybody knows, provided a funding in the amount of $65,000 to enable this restoration of the wheel and the dredging of the pond to take place here. And they provide many other thousands of dollars up and down the parkway to accomplish similar projects. So thank you so much for that. Carolyn, thank you. Thank the board of the foundation for the work and support you all do. And I want to thank the individual citizens, because the foundation is an organization and a wonderful organization. But, you know, it's individuals who provide funding to the foundation that enable us to do what we do. And I met yesterday with Libby Wilcox. I don't know if Libby's here today. She said there you are, I missed you. Libby was in Waynesville, then wanted to drop by Asheville to see me. I'm sorry, I didn't see you when we came in. And Libby is with the Friends organization, volunteers here, and they made a contribution as well to the foundation for this effort. And we appreciate those individual gifts. It's really a community of stewards who make this type of event possible. And I would be remiss, and I specifically ask all of our staff who work in the field in this area, from our administrative staff standing in the back here to our maintenance staff and our ranger staff, to come out today, because honestly this work would not have happened without the leadership of Alan Lawson. Alan standing right here, if you'd raise your hand, Alan. And Roger Williams and the preservation crew, Mr. Mabry, and all of the men and women in gray and green that are here today. So I ask specifically that you all come, because you all are the unsung heroes that made this happen. And I saw the pictures and the work as it progressed and got regular updates. And let's give them a hand for what they did. I've worked in many parks, from the mountains to the Caribbean to the coast of Georgia, and the staff here are as dedicated and passionate about this park as any park I've seen. And I want to thank you each for what you do. We really appreciate it. The visitors that come tell me that day in and day out. So thank you for that. As I think about the day, and I'm not going to talk much longer, I promise. But I was thinking also as I drove up about the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service. 98 years ago this month, Congress passed legislation establishing our agency to manage the national parks. And in that act, they stated that our mission was to conserve the scenery and the natural and historic objects and the wildlife for present and future generations. And to me, a project like this, it's preparing us for that 100th anniversary in 2 years. And it will continue into the future. And the donation, the funds that were made available for this project, to me, are really gifts to those children and grandchildren yet to come, who will be able to come and see an iconic symbol of the Blue Ridge Parkway, perhaps the most photographed spot on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. Another group we have represented, and I want to thank, is our concessionaire here, Cape Leisure Corporation. We have representatives from Cape Leisure here today, and concessionaires are an integral part of our operations in providing food, beverage, and lodging for visitors as they travel the parkway. And we're very pleased to have them here today, and I want to thank them for the service that they provide to the public as well. So in closing, I would like to make one reference that an early director of the Park Service made. He said, establishment of parks is not enough. What is needed are more people who will take the time to be informed about the important issues facing our national parks. And I can't think of a more important issue than ensuring that a place like this continues to stand and be protected for years to come, or a place like Moses Cone Estate. And I've seen the work going on up there and the hard work going on up there. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, sir. Thank you again. I appreciate working with you.
Thank you all. You know, on the way up here this morning, of course, I had to drive the Parkway from Roanoke because it's just so gorgeous. But I thought, what a privilege it is to stand here representing the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation and to be here with Mark, because we wouldn't be here this morning at all were it not for our community of stewards that Mark was talking about. All you wonderful folks who donate to the Parkway Foundation. There'd be no reason to be here. There'd be no ceremony this morning if we hadn't gotten these funds from wonderful folks like y'all, so we appreciate that. You know, the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation's mission is to, excuse me, enrich the quality of the experience being on the parkway. We try to preserve the past, we're trying to enhance what you get to see today, try to preserve things for the future, and this project, of course, is the embodiment of our mission. Over the years, through, again, our wonderful community of stewards who donate to the foundation, we've been able to give the parkway over $5 million since 1997. And luckily, we get to work with the Park Service as their primary fundraiser. We sit down with Mark and his wonderful staff and prioritize what is needed each year. And so this is a priority of the Park Service, and it's done. So we can all be thankful that that happened. I grew up a half mile from the parkway. It has been a part of my life all the way back. And I hate to say I'm that old, but I learned to drive on the parkway. I raised my daughters. Yeah, poor motorists to come the other way.
How about fly fishing?
Yes, well, that's right. I love to fly fish, and there's so many wonderful venues along this jewel of a park. But my girls would always go with me. We take them hiking, picnicking. So our family has nothing but wonderful memories of this great, great park. And as our wonderful CEO, Carolyn Ward, said a few weeks ago, if every visitor to the Blue Ridge Parkway would only give $1, we would double the parkway's budget. Imagine, because this is one of the only parks that does not charge a fee to enjoy it. Others do, and others have larger budgets. So our goal is to get as much money as possible for backlog projects and just everyday maintenance to make it continue to be the best park in the country. Thank you all for being here, for helping us. Let me just ask, who of you all have license plates, parkway license plates? Anybody? Raise your hand. All right, now see, you're part of our community of stewards. Thank you for that. Because we get part of that fee every year, and that goes directly to the parkway. Do we have any of the volunteer fire department from Medicine Dan here? They did a magnificent job helping with this project, and we really appreciate those community of stewards as well. You'll notice a donor board up here at the edge of the parking lot that has names of folks who specifically gave to this project. We like to recognize our community of stewards because we wouldn't exist but for you all. So thank you so much. I'm going to be quiet now and enjoy this beautiful day.
And as the ribbon is being pulled out, thank you, ma'am, I want to recognize Jack Betts taking the pictures over here. Jack is actively involved with the foundation, and he did a blog on this project. If you haven't seen, it's an amazing chronicle of the work being done. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Candidate.
Hot dog. No, you're the man. You're the man. Thank you.
We got everybody? Come on in here, brother. You guys come on in. Come on. Mike, please come in.
Hey, thank you. I'll be with you. Thank you. How exciting.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
It is good to see you again. Sorry. You know how you walk up and you're looking at 1,000 people.